Dear students, in this video I am going to explain chapter 2, third part, uniform motion and non-uniform motion. At first we learn about uniform motion. What is uniform motion? A body is in uniform motion if it covers equal distances in equal interval of time in a specified direction. That is, suppose a body covers 30 km in the first hour, again after 1 hour 30 km, again after 1 hour 30 km. That is, per hour 30 km if a body covers, we can say that body is having uniform motion. In your textbook, one example is given. A car moving on a straight road with a speed of 60 km per hour has uniform motion. That is, that car covers in the first hour 60 km, again in the second hour 60 km, and in the third hour 60 km, like that it go. Now, what is non-uniform motion? A body has non-uniform velocity or non-uniform motion if it covers unequal distance in equal interval of time. For example, suppose a body or suppose a car covers the first hour 30 km, and in the second hour 50 km, and in the third hour 70 km. That is unequal distance in equal interval of time. First hour 30 and different distances that body is covering or that car is covering different distances. So we can say that car is in non-uniform motion. Then a car with non-uniform speed is in non-uniform motion. Also, a car moving around a circular track with uniform speed is also having non-uniform motion as the direction is changing. That is, every point the direction is changing. If a body covers in a circular, or if a body is in circular motion, we can say circular motion, at each point that body or that car or that bus, it changes direction, so it is having non-uniform motion as the direction is changing. Now next part is average velocity. You can see the formula in the textbook. Average velocity is equal to total displacement upon time. Total displacement. Then forward journey, total displacement means that body, if it covered forward journey and also backward journey, total distance will take. That is, if a body for going time or if a car taking for forward journey 30 km, then backward 20 km suppose, then we have to add 30 plus 20 km, then time, if it is 3 hours, we have to divide that one by 3 hours. So if the displacement is 0, suppose if the body is covering 30 km for the forward journey and also again 30 kilometer for the backward journey and the body is reaching at the same point, then the displacement is zero we get, because starting from, that is, the body is starting from one point and again come back to the same point, that is, the displacement will get zero, because we know displacement is the shorter distance from the initial point to the final point. Here initial point and final point is same, so the displacement we get zero we get. So velocity also we get zero will get. If the displacement is zero, then velocity also becomes zero. Now next part is acceleration. So what is acceleration? Acceleration occurs when a moving object slows down or speeds up or changes its direction. Acceleration tells us the rate at which the velocity is changing. Now, a body with the uniform velocity does not have acceleration. Uniform velocity, that is, we already learned what is uniform velocity. If the body covers equal distances in equal interval of time, that means first hour 30 kilometer, then second hour again 30 kilometer, then acceleration will get 30 minus 30 will get 0 will get. So a body with uniform velocity does not have acceleration. Now acceleration formula you can see in the textbook. Acceleration is equal to change in velocity upon time taken. Now change in velocity, what is change in velocity? Change in velocity means we have to subtract final velocity, or we can say from the final velocity we have to subtract the initial velocity. That is, final velocity minus initial velocity is called change in velocity. And now this change in velocity, when we divide by the time, we get the acceleration we get. Now the acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the net force acting on it. It means that if the unbalanced or net force acting on an object is more, the acceleration is also more. Acceleration acts in the direction of the force. Or we can say acceleration is inversely proportional to the mass of an object. What is inversely proportional? Inversely proportional means when one quantity increase, the other quantity decrease. Or the first quantity increase, second quantity decrease. Or when the first quantity decrease, the second quantity increase. That is inversely proportional. So here it is given, acceleration is inversely proportional to the mass of an object. That means if the mass increase, the acceleration decrease. Or when the mass decrease, the acceleration increase. That is the meaning of inversely proportional. Then for a given force, when the mass increases, the acceleration decreases. So we can get the formula, acceleration is equal to net force upon mass. Then another formula is given, A equal to F upon M, where A is the acceleration, F is the force, and M is the mass of the body. Or we can get that formula again, F is equal to ma. That means if mass of the body and acceleration is given, we can get the force by multiplying mass and acceleration. So force to find out force, we have to multiply mass of the body and the acceleration of the body. Or if it is given force and mass, we can find out the acceleration of that body. Or if it is mass and force is given, we can find out acceleration. If it is acceleration and force, we can find out the mass of the body by using that formula. So we'll do the numericals related to this formula. Afterwards we'll do. Then now for the first unit test, you have to learn only chapter 1. Only the question answers and the inside also you have to learn everything of first chapter. You have to learn for the first unit test. Okay, thank you. I will give the next two pages through the next video, and after that I will give the question answer.